Hello friends, dear learners and my dear student. First of all, I take an opportunity to welcome you at my TYBSc Analytical Chemistry class. I am Dr. S.R. Lavde, working as Associate Professor in Chemistry at KTHM College, Nasik. Student, in previous lectures we discussed the method of flame emission spectroscopy. Under this study we discussed the analytical principle of flame atomic emission spectroscopy by using a emission spectra for qualitative and quantitative analysis of atomic species. We also discussed the instrumentation and working of flame emission spectroscopy. Furthermore, we discussed the different difficulties, that is interference occurring in the measurement of atomic species by flame emission spectroscopy. We also discussed the remedies to nullify these difficulties or to remove the interference that will be occur in flame emission spectroscopy. In addition to this, we discussed the different quantitative evaluation methods that are useful for instrumental methods of analysis. Under this study, we discussed the calibration curve method, standard addition method and internal standard method, as well as we discussed their applications in atomic spectroscopy. We also discussed the different analytical applications of flame atomic emission spectroscopy in analytical fields of the sciences. Student, in today's lecture we discussed the method of atomic absorption spectroscopy, that is called as flame atomic absorption spectroscopy. Flame atomic absorption spectroscopy is the branch of atomic spectroscopy in which the sample is converted into gaseous state atoms by thermal energy and excited by using the radiant energy of their own resonance line, own resonance wavelength, or a line. The extent of absorption of radiant power of the resonance line is directly proportional to the amount of or a number of gaseous state atoms. Those are excited in excited state. Therefore, flame atomic absorption spectroscopy. Flame, that is a word because of here sample is also taken into the flame, and therefore it is called as flame atomic absorption spectroscopy. Flame atomic absorption spectroscopy is a branch of atomic spectroscopy in which sample is atomized by a thermal energy either provided by flame or using some external source. Then these gaseous atoms present in the flame, when irradiated with their own resonance line, those easily undergo electronic transition or excitation. The amount of radiant power of that resonance line absorbed is directly proportional to number of atoms those undergo excitation. Student, now we discuss the principle of flame atomic absorption spectroscopy. The flame atomic absorption spectroscopy is rather suitable method for quantitative analysis. It rarely useful for qualitative analysis, because here in atomic absorption spectroscopy we require a radiation source that is made up of analyte element. Until we don't know the element present in the flame, we does not use the particular radiation source for the estimation of that atomic species. Therefore, more specifically, this atomic absorption spectroscopic method is useful for quantitative analysis rather than qualitative analysis. Now we discuss the principle. Suppose, for example, we have a metal ion solution, MX solution. Metallic salt solution when aspirated into the flame, then that will react with or mix with fuel and oxidant. Then this MX solution is converted to MX mist or a fog. Here this MX mix is further a loss of solvent takes place by using the thermal energy, and the process is called as evaporation, and it is converted to MX solid. This MX solid is further get dissociated into atoms, and the process is called as atomization. That is, atomization is a process in which liquid sample is converted to gas phase. Here MX mist is converted to MX solid, then it will MX solid is further converted to MX gas. The process is called as a vaporization. That is conversion of solid into a gas. This solid gaseous compound is further dissociation, and it is get converted to M gas plus X gas. The process is called as atomization. That means these are the events when we aspirate a sample solution, metallic salt solution, into the flame. After aspiration, sample mixed with fuel gas and oxidant, and it is converted to MX mix, that is fog formation takes place. This fog is further given in flame, where solvent is given out from the solution or that fog. It is converted to MX solid. MX solid is further converted to MX gas. Process is called as vaporization. The gaseous compound is further dissociated into its different atoms, but those are in gaseous state, and process is called as atomization. Now these gaseous state atoms, suppose here we consider only the M. Here X, that is another co-ion of the analyte element. If we irradiate this gas state metal atom with a resonance line of that particular because of this process that is called as excitation. Therefore, these gas phase atoms which are present initially in ground state, if we irradiate this gas phase atom with their own resonance wavelength, then a part of that radiant energy is utilized by that particular atomic species for their excitation. Therefore, amount of radiant power utilized for this event, that is excitation of gas phase atomic species into excited state species, the radiant power is utilized, and that radiant power is measured in the instrument as a transmittance, which is the ratio of P upon P0. Therefore, here in this case, metallic salt solution when atomized and irradiated with their own resonance wavelength, means that is a wavelength required for excitation of that particular species. Then radiant power of that particular resonance line is absorbed and that metallic species is undergo excitation. The radiant power which is absorbed for this process is measured as a transmittance, and therefore here instrument measures the absorbance, that is minus log P, or A is equal to minus log of P upon P0, or A is equal to log of P upon P0. Therefore, in atomic absorption spectroscopy, we are measuring the absorbance of the analyte species which are present in gaseous state. And this absorbance is directly proportional to the amount of material that is given in the excited state, and we can directly find out its concentration. The atomic absorption spectroscopy. It is exactly similar to molecular absorption spectroscopy. Only difference is that in this case we are measuring the absorbance of atomic species. In that case we are measuring the absorbance of molecular species present in solution. Here atomic species present in gaseous form. Therefore, here this is a underlying principle of the flame atomic absorption spectroscopy, in which decrease in radiant power of resonance line is measured as absorbance, which is directly proportional to the concentration or a number of gas phase atoms. Those are excited into the excited state. Student, now we discuss what is resonance line. Resonance line that used as a radiation source in atomic absorption spectroscopy. In gaseous state atoms, the transition of electron from its ground state that is ground state electronic energy level E0 to its first excited state E1 is called as resonance transition. That means here this is a nucleus. Around this nucleus, this is first cell, and suppose this is the valence cell, and next to valence cell, this empty cell is the excited state. Therefore, this is the valence cell. We can say a ground state electronic energy level, and this is a next cell to valence cell. It is called as excited state or a excited state electronic energy level. Therefore, when electron is promoted from this to this type of transition is called as resonance that is next to valence shell. Now here in this case resonance transition and the emission of radiation during de-excitation of electron from first excited state to ground state is called as resonance emission, or the wavelength at which this occurs, it is called as resonance line or resonance line. Resonance line that will be depends upon the energy gap between the valence shell and next excited state. Each molecule, each atom have this specific energy gap. That energy gap will be decided on the basis of the number of electrons available to that atom. Therefore, here the energy gap between this valence shell and first excited state level is different for different atoms. And so here the resonance line or resonance emission is unique for atomic species. It is unique for atomic species. That means it acts as a signature of that particular atom, and therefore we can utilize it for identification purpose. But atomic absorption spectroscopy is rarely useful for identification purpose. It is most specifically used for a quantitative analysis. Therefore, this is called as a resonance line, and this resonance line we have to use as a radiation source in atomic absorption spectroscopy. This resonance line is obtained externally by exciting that particular analyte species from its ground state level to first excited state level, and during this de-excitation the emission line is isolated as a radiation source in atomic absorption spectroscopy. Student, we know that resonance line, it is a unique for atomic species, that is the identity of particular atom. Now we discuss here how the resonance line is used as a radiation source for atomic absorption measurement. Suppose we have to determine nickel. Therefore, determination of nickel by AES, we require a radiation source that gives the emission line of nickel only. Therefore, externally we can have that particular nickel atom in a source, and that will be converted into their SOU into gaseous state. Here this is a nickel atom present in the source, converted to gaseous phase, and this gaseous phase nickel atom are thermally excited, and this will be carried out in a radiation source that is called as halocathode lamp. Therefore, nickel present on that halocathode lamp or radiation source initially is converted into its gas phase atoms. These gas phase atoms are thermally excited. A large amount of thermal energy is provided, and therefore here in this case those are get either excited from this level to this level, or this level to this level, or this level to this level, or this level to this level. depending upon the availability of energy. Therefore, valence shell of that particular valence shell electron of that nickel atom is get excited to first excited set, second or third or fourth. This is E0, this is E1, this is E2, this is E3, this is E4. Therefore, here when these electrons are de-excited, all these electrons after some time, a short lifetime, those are de-excited. But here these emissions are blocked by using a slit. Only these radiations from the halocathode lamp, those are allowed to pass into a flame. Again here flame that consists of a similar nickel atoms. Therefore here exactly same energy will be provided from the source for excitation of this nickel atom. Therefore here nickel present in gaseous state, and that is from the sample. This is from the source, this is in the sample. Here we are allowed only the resonance line. This line is a resonance line or resonance intensity that allowed to pass through into the flame whose radiant energy is P0. Then this nickel atom easily absorbs this radiant energy to excite its electron to next excited state level. Therefore here this will be E0, E1, E2, E3, E4. All types of cells are present similarly here, similarly to flame. But as we are providing only this much energy, therefore only this type of transition occurs in the flame. Because we are not providing these energies for excitation. Therefore here, these type of transitions are not occur in the nickel atoms which are present in the flame. Therefore, some amount of this radiant energy that will be absorbed by this excitation process, and here radiant power is get decreased up to P. Therefore here a instrument, that is other component, monochromator, detector, recorder, measures this as a T is equal to P upon P0 or A is equal to minus log T. Therefore in this case radiation source that will be gives a specific type of radiation, and only those radiations are absorbed by that particular atom present in the flame. Therefore there is no other excitation, because here this much energy is sufficient to excite nickel atoms present in the flame only. Even iron is present, cobalt is present, that does not undergo this type of transition by this resonance line. Because resonance lines that are unique, that are different for copper, chromium, iron, nickel, like this. Therefore, by resonance line of nickel, only nickel atoms are excited. Therefore, it is a highly selective technique of measurement, and it measures the concentration of analyte up to ppb level, parts per billion level. And therefore, here in this case, the interference that will be easily removed because we does not provide any energy for excitation of interfering ion. Therefore, technique is said to be highly selective. Now we discuss how this technique works. Student, we know that flame atomic emission spectroscopy is a suitable technique for qualitative and quantitative analysis of metallic species. Those are atomized and excited by flame energy only. Therefore, most of the D block element or heavy element does not fulfill this requirement. That means even though those are atomized by flame temperature, but their excitation is not possible with the flame Therefore, there is requirement of a flame atomic absorption spectroscopy. Flame atomic absorption spectroscopy, that is a technique of atomic absorption spectroscopy introduced by two different scientists in two different countries. Flame atomic emission spectroscopy was first introduced by scientists here Walsh in Australia and Alchemade and Milas in Holland. Therefore, here these three scientists independently introduced the concept of a flame atomic emission spectroscopy. In 1959 and first commercial atomic absorption spectrophotometer was introduced in 1960. With the block diagram to discuss the working of this atomic absorption spectroscopy. In atomic absorption spectroscopy, there is a radiation source. This is also called as line source, and it is made up of a analyte which is present in the flame. This radiation source is called as halocathode lamp. Here, next to halocathode lamp, there is a atomizer and the sample cell. Flame atomizer, and here sample is given on the atomizer by Venturi effect, and after that there is monochromator. Monochromator to detector, and finally the signal is given to the recorder. This is the block diagram of figure, block diagram of AAS, atomic absorption spectrophotometer. A radiation source is called as halocathode lamp, which is made up of a analyte species itself. Therefore, here, as we know which type of material that we have to estimate, that type of radiation source we have to use here. Then radiation from the source given in the flame, where gaseous atomic species are present, those are excited by using this radiant energy, and decrease in radiant power is measured after isolating that particular resonance line. Because flame also gives the radiation, and to distinguish the radiation of this radiation source and this flame, a monochromatic system is placed next to the sample cell. Then this monochromatic system isolates that particular resonance line, and then intensity of resonance line is detected by using a photo detector, and photo multiplier tube is used as a detector, in this atomic absorption spectroscopy. The signal, that is photocurrent, is recorded by a recorder after amplification, and therefore here this is a working. In this way this technique work. In forthcoming lecture we discuss in detail how this instrument is constructed. We discuss the different components of the atomic absorption spectrophotometer. After that we discuss the working of atomic absorption spectrophotometer. With this discussion you can find out the answers of following question. Give the what is plain atomic absorption spectroscopy, give its principle, and second question, what are the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages of plain atomic emission spectroscopy? Student, with this we stop here. Thanks for joining me. Keep learning.